Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. I welcome you to a disturbing expose that reveals the shocking truth about the creation of a new slave class in America, a class of people deemed disposable, exploitable, and humanized. The wealthy elite's pursuit of immortality and merging of human consciousness with technology has led to a sinister agenda. Homelessness, poverty, mass incarceration, and human rights violations are all interconnected pieces in a larger game of social control and experimentation. The middle class is being deliberately dismantled and a new underclass is emerging, one that is justified in being dehumanized and exploited. The historical parallels to indigenous children subjected to human experiments in Canada are chilling. The echoes of Manifest Destiny and palm-color supremacy still haunt us today. So join me as a brother unravels the threads of this alarming narrative and confronts the wickedness that threatens our humanity. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts on what you think about the brother's video. Check out his video. I will be right back.
This is going to make me sound crazy, but I'm going to try to give you as much information as it's going to take so it makes sense. The wealthy don't want to go to Mars. The wealthy want to live forever. At least the ultra wealthy want to live forever. The only way they can do that is by finding a way to merge consciousness, human consciousness, with technology that can last forever as long as it is maintained, at least forever in this Earth experience we're living in. The reason why, now this is, I'm saying this is years in the making. The reason why homelessness is being criminalized, the reason why rent prices are going up, the reason why jobs are not hiring or paying properly, the reason why all of this anti-human rights stuff is happening is so the wealthy can replace the middle class that they've created and then place them beneath the poverty class and create a class of people that is justified in being dehumanized. Whether that's the houseless, whether that's those in prison, whether that's those who are, need some kind of support and they aren't getting it, so they're reacting in a way that gets them punished. Like, we are creating a slave class right now. And what's even scarier about that is, I don't know how many of you guys do any kind of research on indigenous history. And I don't know if how many of you guys heard the news story about how many of the indigenous children were found beneath a Catholic school in like Canada or some shit. A brief history, at least my understanding, is that as these children were stripped from their communities and their tribes, they were taken and used in human experiments. And some of those human experiments are the reason why we have the nutritional standards that we have today. Mind you, this was a class of people that was justified to be dehumanized under the guise or the sake of Manifest Destiny and the desire to create this white man's America. Do you see how people can become demons when you just turn their perspective to justifying atrocious acts? Okay? How does this all connect? Wealthy people are not only creating a slave class, but they're creating a class of people that you can justify in dehumanizing as long as you can meet the social standard and the social acceptability window, which is increasingly closing. So they can justify doing human experiments, attempting to turn human beings into cyborgs, or at least attempting to figure out how to merge the AI technology with human beings, discarding all the people that they, fail upon. But it's okay because they were already homeless, or they were already neurodivergent, or they were already gay, or they were already this. Are you seeing? Is it starting to make sense now? Why they get you, everyday people, to hate other everyday people? Because one day we're going to need you to sell out other everyday people to be used in experiments for projects that are ridiculous that wealthy people want to try. But they don't want to try on themselves because they're only going to try it on themselves when it's successful and when it's at a point where only they can access this kind of technology, and then they enslave the rest of us to make sure that this is a reality that they only have access to for as long as possible, while getting us to continue to allow the process of this happening by saying that, oh, you're going to have VR worlds to go to, and you're going to have AI servants that you can talk to. You're going to have little humanoid Alexas serving you. No, none of that's real, bro. I'm starting to realize like none of this AI wave shit is real for any of us everyday people. If you aren't a millionaire right now, bro, I'm telling you, like, you might not be a human in the next 20 years.
Now, the chilling revelations in this video expose the dark underbelly of power and greed, the creation of a new slave class in America, perpetuated by the wealthy elite's lust for immortality and technological dominance, is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. The systemic dehumanization of vulnerable populations, the homeless, prisoners, and marginalized communities is a chilling echo of the horrific experiments inflicted upon indigenous children in Canada. The same twisted logic of manifest destiny and palm color supremacy that fueled those atrocities is now driving this modern-day oppression. Now, as we witness the deliberate dismantling of the middle class and the erosion of human rights, we must recognize the sinister forces at play. We must confront the wickedness that seeks to reduce human beings to mere commodities, exploitable and disposable. Now, the brother's words are a stark warning of a dystopian reality that's unfolding before our very eyes. He's exposing the sinister plot to create a new slave class where the wealthy elite exploit and control the vulnerable. Now, I'm going to break down the facts and evidence that support his claims. Firstly, the criminalization of homelessness is a stark reality. Cities are now passing laws that effectively make it illegal to be homeless, forcing people into cycles of poverty and incarceration. Meanwhile, the affordable housing crisis worsens with millions struggling to access basic shelter. Secondly, the exploitation of prisoners is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Corporations profit from cheap labor while prisoners are paid pennies on the dollar. Now, this modern-day slave labor perpetuates systemic racism and oppression. Thirdly, the erosion of human rights is evident in the attacks on reproductive rights, voting rights, and free speech. The wealthy elite use their influence to shape policies that maintain their power and control. And lastly, the push for merging human consciousness with technology is a real agenda, with billionaires investing heavily in neutral technology and AI. Now, the brother's urgent call to action resonates deeply. It's time for people to wake up and recognize the future that's unfolding before our very eyes. We can no longer afford to be complacent or ignorant to the sinister forces that seek to control and exploit us. We must acknowledge the empirical evidence and connect the dots between the criminalization of homelessness, the exploitation of prisoners, the erosion of human rights, and the push for merging human consciousness with technology. Now, these are not isolated issues, but interconnected pieces in a larger game of social control and oppression. It's time for people to rise up and resist this dystopian future. We must challenge the systems of power and demand a world that values humanity, dignity, and freedom. We must fight for a future that prioritizes people over profits and compassion over control. The brother's words are really a call to consciousness, a reminder that we have the power to shape our destiny. We have finally come to the end of the video, but I want you, my viewers, to be the teachers of this video by sharing your thoughts and contributions on what you think about the brother's video. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.